Welcome back. While all eyes were set on the railway budget today, something else in Parliament also made headlines, if not bigger headlines, right before the railway budget. The Congress cornered Parliamentary Affairs Minister Venkaiah Naidu for his very thinly veiled jibe at Rahul Gandhi in Parliament yesterday. And leading the charge back was Party President Sonia Gandhi herself, who told Venkaiah Naidu to either apologize or they wouldn't let the House function.
अभी तक जो हुआ, जो गलतियां हुआ उसको आत्मचिंतन करना, यहाँ नहीं कर पाए तो दूर जाके वहाँ करना, इसके बारे में सोचना। Nothing wrong, आत्मचिंतन करने में कोई दोष नहीं है, और एक तो करना पड़ेगा।
As the mystery over Rahul Gandhi's absence deepens, politics around it is certainly intensifying. Only the Congress number 2 can now silence these echoes resonating in and out of Parliament when he chooses to return after his abrupt break from politics. Bureau Report, headlines today.
And joining me on To The Point this evening, Dr. Ejaz Ilmi of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Sushmita Dev of the Congress will be joining us in just a moment. I understand we have her on the phone line. And with me here in the Headlines Today studio is Aditi Fadnis, senior political journalist and columnist. Welcome to all of you. Sushmita, if I can, put the first question to you, because a lot of people are wondering, after they've listened to Venkaiah Naidu's entire comment, I want to just take our viewers through a verbatim translation of what he said. He said that Chintan has to happen, introspection needs to happen, whether it happens here or whether it happens far away. Everyone has to introspect. Even the BJP needs to introspect, especially after what happened in Delhi. What is offensive about that comment, Sushmita, if you could answer that question specifically for the Congress?
Quite clearly, you all don't have the whole picture or the whole story. The fact is, as it happened, Mr. Venkaiah Naidu was a very senior leader and the Parliamentary Affairs Minister. While he was addressing the House in the course of his intervention to the motion of thanks of the President's speech, there were a series of comments. There were a series of comments.
Which part has the Congress taken offense to? Because you've just accused us of not having the full picture. I have just verbatim read out a translation of the entire comment.
You have edited it very well. Please remember that the
I'll tell you what. Okay, Sushmita, tell me. No, let's not dilly-dally. Tell me precisely which part of it the Congress has taken offense to.
First of all, it is not the Congress, it is 9 political parties who went to the Speaker.
You speak for the Congress, not for the 9 political parties.
No,
what have you taken offense to?
Let me finish. Give me a moment to finish what I'm saying. See, what you have showed on your television screen is no doubt a verbatim of what Mr. Venkaiah Naidu said. But this entire row started yesterday in the Business Advisory Committee meeting.
Yes.
And this was not about a single comment of Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, which you are choosing to play today selectively. It was about various comments that he passed against Karuna Karanji, who's a senior member of Parliament. He passed against Scindia ji, and this has been building up for the last 2 sessions. It is not the fact that he said something unparliamentarian, but it is an entire arrogant and derogatory attitude that all parties took.
But why was it specifically about Rahul Gandhi in that case?
That you are saying so. That's not what happened. That's your version, not our version.
Can you? I'm going to ask you one more question before going to the others, Sushmita. Tell us specifically which part of Venkaiah Naidu's, either speech or whatever it is that he said that you and the Congress party have taken offense to. I'm not talking about the other opposition parties. What has the Congress not liked? Because you saw even Sonia Gandhi, sort of delivering a threat, saying that we won't allow the House to function unless there's an apology. What did the Congress take so personally?
It is your version that Congress took this personally. There was nothing personal about this entire issue. Let me go on record to say that today when we went to the Honorable Speaker's room, I was present there with all the party leaders, different party leaders, and the point was as follows. It was not personal, but the point we made is his series of comments to say, Karuna Karanji, Karuna to aapse chala gaya hai, Karuna Nidhi ke paas chala gaya hai. CPIM has taken VRS.
But that's true.
I mean, see, it may be true, but let me tell you.
But what does the Congress care about that?
We are offended, as are the other parties.
Aditi Fadnis, do you buy this?
And tenor. About his tone, and there's a limit to being arrogant in the House of the
Aditi Fadnis, do you buy this? I mean, you saw the Congress suddenly erupt today.
He hurt the sentiment of 9 parties.
Under the backing of, they saying, the 9 opposition parties. But it appears to have been, that specific comment yesterday that suddenly brought all this anger bubbling out. How are you reading this?
I can only go by what the BJP is telling us.
Yeah.
Repeatedly, and this seems to be the kind of, it's a command performance more or less.
Yeah.
Repeatedly, BJP leaders have been chiding us when we have spoken in a belittling way about Rahul Gandhi's propensity to take holidays.
Right.
And actually, Mr. Venkaiah Naidu himself said that any MP tomorrow I can fall ill and I may have to take leave.
Yes.
This is not this. It's a right of an MP to take leave whenever he wants to take leave. And actually, he chided us. We were somewhat surprised.
Right. Right. No, absolutely. So, it's not like he's been taking pot shots or anything, but Sushmita says that this is something that's been building up. He's made fun of the CPM, he's made fun of Karunakaran, but the Congress appears to be inordinately upset about this, and I think Sushmita is sidestepping the general perception here that the Congress has basically taken very personally the fact that Venkaiah Naidu yesterday said you can either do introspection here or you can go abroad and do it, which is what his reference was, and thinly veiled reference to Rahul Gandhi. Sushmita, I'm going to come back to you in a moment.
Yeah.
Ejaz Ilmi is also with us. Ejaz, Sushmita says it has nothing to do with Rahul Gandhi. We have not taken anything personally. This has everything to do with unparliamentary behavior and language. It's been building up over a long period. As far as Venkaiah Naidu is concerned, what do you have to say to that?
Firstly, Mr. Venkaiah Naidu has been in Parliament for more than 3 decades, and he understands parliamentary decorum, what is unparliamentary, the political ethics. He understands all these things. If there's one word that was indecent or unparliamentary or undignified as defined under the Parliament Act, if Sushmita ji, who's a member of Parliament herself of the Lok Sabha, if she can enlighten us as to the one word, if there's one unparliamentary word, we'll be very, very happy.
Let's play out. Let's play it out. Sushmita, straight question to you. After all the hangama that happened in Parliament today, Venkaiah Naidu didn't apologize. He went up there and he said that I have never said anything unparliamentary and that I didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but he didn't apologize. So why isn't there still a hangama in Parliament? Why is the Congress backed off?
First of all, I want to say that you're repeatedly showing what suits your, the focus of
Just answer the question, Sushmita.
No, you cannot, you have to realize that there was a series of comments that preceded what you're playing on your channel today. And there are a series of comments that were made after what your channel is playing today. And
are you satisfied with Venkaiah Naidu's statement today? Are you satisfied with that?
It is. See, I'm repeatedly saying.
No, if you're so pained, if you're so agonized by what he said, how can you accept what he said today? How does this close the matter? He hasn't apologized.
See, first of all, I'm going on record to say it was never an accusation that what Mr. Venkaiah Naidu said is unparliamentary. Number one.
Okay.
Let me clarify that.
You hold up Parliament.
Yes. What is the allegation?
You hold up Parliament and you're saying this now?
You're tying yourself up, Sushmita. What is the allegation then? What is the allegation?
The allegation is that some of his statements are uncalled for. They are insensitive. And
so it's not unparliamentary but insensitive.
We've never said it's unparliamentary.
But it's insensitive and uncalled for.
Just because you have a brute majority does not give you the right to demean other parties.
But
Shiv.
Ejaz, yeah, quickly.
Shiv. I want to come in here.
Yes.
This is clearly an afterthought. It's a cover-up. Because
it's not a cover-up. You were not there in the speaker's room. We were.
Procedures.
You were not there in the Business Advisory Committee meeting. We were.
You were there. There's Rule 352, Rule 353, Rule 380, Rules of Expunction. You were there. Why didn't you go to the presiding officer the same day? Why did you not follow the rules if there was anything indecent, unparliamentary or undignified? It's all there. It's all there. The rules of
Parliament. Never our stand.
You were there. Why didn't you raise this issue?
I specifically asked for Aditi Fadnis today because I'd like to fall back on someone who's got the depth of experience in dealing with politicians. Aditi is someone who knows Venkaiah Naidu very well. Aditi, Venkaiah Naidu is one of of the more amiable people in the BJP, person who has a slightly wider appeal, not seen as a hardliner of any. He's also a man who, likes, clever things to say to journalists.
Yes,
always gives, little puns and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you, in your sense, since we don't know what happened in the speaker's room, Sushmita says many, insensitive things were said. Could these things have been really insensitive, or is the Congress, just latching on to something and, as an issue?
See, Venkaiah Naidu is very frank, and he's usually never on record.
Right.
I mean, he's never off the record. So he has no compunctions about saying anything, whatever comes to his head, and he just says it. He doesn't, I don't think he means anything malicious by it.
Right.
At the same time, because he's got so many years in public life, he is careful about not sounding unparliamentary. Now, if you, glass cuts glass, so if you are angry about what he's, about sarcasm or about innuendo or about other things, you should meet that with sarcasm. You shouldn't go running to the principal's office and complaining that, somebody beat me up in the playfield.
Yes,
this kind of thing happens.
That is another perception, not a loaded statement, Sushmita, but that's a perception that's come about after what happened today, that the Congress is already in a sort of very delicate kind of frame of mind because of the entire Rahul Gandhi being away, questions being asked, leaders coming out and questioning the leadership, and therefore this reaction that it's a sign of overt defensiveness over something that's not really such a big deal.
Well, that's your take on it, and you're entitled to have your take on it. It's your show. But the fact is that 9 parties went to the Honorable Speaker. And I would like to repeat that I agree with Aditi ji. Venkaiah Naidu ji is a highly respected parliamentarian. He's really off the record, but the fact is he was out of line.
Okay, you're saying that he was out
of line. What is out of line? Who decided? Shiv.
Ejaz, just give me a moment. I want to ask just one small follow-up question, then I'm coming back to you. Sushmita,
yes.
Are the parties, I'm asking you very frankly because you're also a respected member of parliament and we all recognize that here. Are the 9 parties, including yours, satisfied with what Venkaiah ji said in Parliament today?
See, I just want to say one thing, that when we go to the well of the house, you people say we are disrupting the house. When we accept his regret, you people say, why did you accept?
No, I'm not asking.
What is your
ma'am, I am no one to say those things. I am no one to say those things and I don't do that. I can speak for myself, not other journalists. I'm asking you a straight question.
I have to say that Mr. Venkaiah Naidu showed due grace today in Parliament.
Okay.
He showed due grace. He stood up and said that if I've hurt anyone's sentiment, it was nothing personal. And I thought that was very graceful of him. We accepted.
Okay, at the risk of taking another quote out of context and being accused by you of doing that once again, Sushmita. Ejaz, I'm just coming to you. Sushmita, you had Venkaiah Naidu actually say even the BJP needs to introspect. BJP ko bhi chintan karna hai. He was frank enough to actually stand there and say, after what happened in Delhi, everyone needs to introspect, including the BJP. Wasn't that, to you and the other parties, a sign that this was a leader, making a general comment? It was pretty frank for him to say the BJP needs to introspect right there on national television.
At the cost of repeating myself, you've edited it in a way that you're not showing what is before and after.
Come on, Sushmita. I'm asking you about that comment.
I'll take you on. Come to Lok Sabha and I'll play it for you.
Okay. Ejaz, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Sushmita ji is saying that he was not in line. I really wonder, is repeating Rahul Gandhi's statement about introspection, I mean, what is the big deal about it? There are 543 Lok Sabha MPs. It's a matter within the Congress party who the incumbent president is. I mean, that is something for them to decide. Why should Venkaiah Naidu, for saying nothing unparliamentary, apologize to the parliament? The parliament is bigger than one individual.
And you should also thank him.
Yeah, absolutely. That's grace and dignity and experience.
Graceful of him.
That's grace, dignity and experience, and not being petulant and childish in asking him to apologize to the parliament for repeating Rahul Gandhi's statement, a letter he gave to his own mother. What are you talking about?
Okay. So the reading here is the matter is closed as far as the Congress is concerned. They're saying that it has been very graciously addressed by Venkaiah Naidu, and the matter is closed as far as that is concerned. Aditi, What does this tell you about the Congress? What does this betray? Is it defensiveness? Is it petulance? Is it a general air of, sort of reacting very quickly to stuff, being oversensitive to what's going on? As you said, meet sarcasm with sarcasm.
I don't want to sound like offensive or anything, but the fact is that in the Congress, this has been a long tradition that when there is even a perceived slight to a leader, to the leader, the Congress comes down like a ton of bricks. And you need to be more vociferous, and the more loud you are, the more you are likely to be taken notice of.
Right. So that has not changed at all, apparently.
That has not changed. Secondly, I think there are hundreds of things on which the Congress can be as clever and as sarcastic and as critical of the BJP.
Yes.
So why doesn't it just deploy its intelligence? Instead of, as I said, running to the President's office and complaining that they're being bullied in the playfield.
Sushmita, you want to answer that? Why doesn't the Congress, which has no shortage of smart, witty leaders, deploy its intelligence instead of running to the headmistress?
See, I'll tell you what. What we expect from a parliamentary affairs minister is not some ordinary behavior. Yes, we sit in an adversarial position in Parliament on two sides, the Treasury bench and the opposition. But I don't know, I wish you would make an effort and see the entire day's proceedings. Something was not right, and that is this kind of tone, tenor is not expected of a parliamentary affairs minister.
No, it's not expected.
Venkaiah Naidu is an experienced parliamentarian, and I'm sure he saw some wisdom while he stood up and apologized.
Sushmita, Aditi has a question for you. Aditi, go ahead.
He's just a parliamentary affairs minister. He's not God incarnate on earth. You don't have to, give him...
Well, he should not play God then.
Well, you don't have to give him the divine right to say whatever he wants to say.
Ejaz, quick comment, and I have another couple of last questions before we wrap up. Ejaz, quickly.
No, my concern is that with a seasoned leader like Venkaiah Naidu, who says nothing unparliamentary in Parliament or even outside, to accuse him is something very petulant, peevish, and Congress is really, I mean, you may have an issue with where the Vice President of the Congress party is going on.
9 parties.
Well, led by the Congress.
9 parties have their own presidents, their own vice presidents. It's an issue limited to your party. There are 9 different parties, but what was unparliamentary you have not been able to tell us.
It's a common sentiment.
Okay, we can argue endlessly. We can argue endlessly about the figures involved here.
But
why didn't you have Trinamool on your show today?
In the final stretch of this discussion, I just want to expand it just a little bit, Sushmita.
Yeah.
You've got Venkaiah Naidu making this statement. Aditi says this was just sarcasm. The general sense is it wasn't meant, at least the bite that you accuse us of editing and putting out, didn't sound malicious to anybody. In fact, he even sort of, said the BJP should introspect. But, you've got 2 heavyweights from the Congress, Sushmita. I'm sure you've seen their interviews. Actually, say far more serious things about the leadership, problem within the Congress. Why doesn't the Congress react to what people like Kamal Nath and Digvijay Singh have said? They're very explicit statements. Why are you latching on to what, Venkaiah Naidu has said?
Listen, I'm again telling you, you have made
they
this
all
whole
pertain
thing,
to introspection.
you made this whole issue about what he said about Rahul Gandhi. The issue is much larger. You can keep saying whatever you want. That is the reality. I would request Aditi ji and the BJP spokesperson to watch the entire proceedings. The entire opposition stood. Trinamool, Congress, and CPM, who have adversarial political positions, came together. Why? There must be some reason.
No, the question is whether...
Yeah, but from introspection to deflection is a long journey you've traveled.
You can keep talking about the same issue because it suits you. You're trying to deflect the whole thing.
Aditi, yeah.
No, I think
Venkaiah Naidu told the BJP also to introspect. He's making a general remark, a parliamentary remark to all sections of the parliament.
I'm going to give the last word to Aditi. Yeah, Aditi, go ahead.
If we are going to have people being contradicted and apologies being wrested out of people, even when they said nothing unparliamentary, remarks expunged even when they were perfectly in consonance with Parliament, I think that's a very dangerous trend.
It's a very dangerous trend.
I don't think for a parliamentary affairs minister to hurt the sentiment of 9 parties who unite. Why did that happen?
Nothing unparliamentary, indecent, undignified.
Well,
under the laws
the
of the House,
but simply
you are a
insensitive
parliamentarian.
and high-handed.
Was there violation of Rule 353?
Sushmita, you've just contradicted yourself and said unparliamentary.
And you're raising a bogey of deflection.
Sushmita, you've just said that he said some, things that were unparliamentary, so you've contradicted yourself again. Okay.
Replay what I said.
Okay, no, I'm not latching on to the small bits. All I'm saying here right now is that I think we can all be very clear that far worse, far more damaging things have been said and been done in Parliament. The perception is that this definitely wasn't one of them, and perhaps indicates a state of mind within the Congress. Aditi says that a smallest slight about the leadership, evokes this kind of reaction. Sushmita says it's not just about Rahul Gandhi or Sonia Gandhi, it's a series of things that have been building up. But Venkaiah Naidu himself has said, if I said anything unparliamentary, then, I didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings. The thing is, he says he speaks facts, and the Congress says that this is something that has been insensitive and uncalled for. At least for the moment. The big takeaway from today's show is Sushmita of the Congress says that Venkaiah Naidu has been gracious and this matter is closed for the moment. Even now, we don't know where Rahul Gandhi is. He's away while the Congress continues to fight. The echoes of his being away and his absenteeism echoing in Parliament, and you can bet that it's going to continue to do so. Sushmita Dev, Ejaz Ilmi, Aditi Fadnis, thank you very much for joining us.